Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk and Fight, another episode of Neil the Deal with Neil the Deal himself. We hope you enjoy it because we're going down under tonight and highlighting yet another boxer from that great continent of Australia. What do you got for us, Neil?
Hey, good evening, Graham. Nice to see you again, man. Yep, we are going down under again today. We're going to talk about a guy I've been watching the last year or so, and he's been moving up the ranks now. Like we were talking about yesterday, these fighters that fight out of Australia don't get a lot of recognition. They seem to fight within that region, and then once they get to a certain point, they start getting a little bit of recognition and start moving into the higher paying fights, the bigger fights, that sort of thing. And this individual is on the cusp of possibly a big fight. He's really looking for one, like they all are. But I think he's got a good chance this year. So we're going to be talking about a guy named Tim Tszyu. Tszyu. All right. He has a Tszyu. Tszyu. Well, that's an interesting name. Now, you might have heard that name before because he has a famous father boxer who is in the Hall of Fame, was inducted in 2011. His name was Kostya Tszyu. So he was a fantastic fighter, his dad. So obviously the bloodline is continued into the son, and with the boxing bloodline, and he's really been making some headway in the last couple of years, and his name's on the radar now for all these guys holding the belts and stuff. So let's just talk a little bit about Tim Tszyu. He has a nickname. They call him the Soul Taker. The Soul Taker. Now there's a nice nickname. Oh, you're just here to take my soul? Is that all you want? Okay, well, good luck. But anyways, so they call him the Soul Taker, which is a cool little nickname. And he was born November 2nd, 1994. That makes him 26 years old. And he was born in Sydney, Australia, and resides in Australia as present. He fights in the light middleweight division. And his career started in 2016, and he is presently an active fighter. Right now, he's ranked number 1 by the WBO and number 3 by the IBF in the light middleweight division. And like I said, he is the son of former Kostya Tszyu. So I'm sure he's been getting some tips from good old dad. You know what I mean? He seems to be moving up the ranks. Maybe dad's giving him a hand, and he's definitely somebody you guys might want to check out. So, keep your eye on him. As a kid, apparently he was an excellent athlete. He was a really good athlete. He played multiple sports, and he excelled at all of them. He played soccer, played Australian rules football, and he was actually into gymnastics when he was really young. So when he turned about 15 years old, he was strictly playing rugby, and he was playing, and he started into the boxing a little bit when around 15 years old, and then he decided to just to completely dedicate all his time to the boxing profession. And since then, he's been boxing like crazy all the time down there all the time. He's in his fights, you'll notice that he's a very aggressive fighter. Again, I like those aggressive fighters. He's got really good body punching. In some of his bouts, I've noticed that he really uses the body well. He's got a great jab. He's got really fast hands, and he's a really, really tough guy. I'm looking at these Australian guys. I guess living in the outback makes them really tough, eh, Graham? Living in Australia. So and he's been known to have really good uppercuts too. I've seen a couple of knockouts of his with the left uppercut, right uppercut. He utilizes all his punches, and he puts them together really well. So, like I say, he hasn't been getting a lot of recognition to this point, but I think you guys are going to really start hearing his name more and more moving forward. So he had an amateur career. A really good amateur career. He had 34 bouts, of which he won 33 of them, and he only had the one loss. So that's one loss out of 34. It's a great amateur career. And in 2011, he won a bronze medal at the Australian National Championships, where he was fighting in the light welterweight division. So as he's got older, he's moved up in weight. Therefore, he's moved up into the light middleweight division now. But good for him. He won a bronze medal for his country. That's always a big thing, and he's another guy that's a very big fighter in Australia. They really do they really do like their fighters in Australia, and he's a really big name. So he turned pro at age 22 years old. So let's go over his pro totals. He has to date 18 bouts under his belt, and he has 18 wins with 0 losses. So he is another fighter who is undefeated. A lot of these guys are undefeated, Graham. It's unbelievable. So he has 14 knockouts of the 18 wins. That gives him a knockout percentage of 78%. So almost 80% knockout percentage. And the fights that I've seen him in, yeah, he's been knocking guys out left, right, and center. So he's really, really he's gonna be something to look forward to this year. Yes. So anyways, when he was earlier on in his career, he had a really severe hand injury, which kept him out of the fighting game from about the age of 18 until he was 22. So he had a hand injury, and that was pretty severe. But he came back. He had his first pro fight in December 2016, and by his 7th fight, he had won the WBO ABCO Continental Light Middleweight Championship of the World. He won that title. In February 2019, he won the WBA Oceania Interim Light Middleweight title. There's that Oceania again, Graham, with down in that region. And in May 2019, he won the Australian light middleweight title. So he was the country's light middleweight champion 2019. And later that year, in August 2019, he won the IBF Australian Asian and the WBO Global Light Middleweight title. So he's got a real sniff of winning titles in that part of the world. He hasn't won a world title yet, but that's on the radar for him now, and that's what he's really striving for. He's definitely going to be somebody to look for. There's no doubt about it. Like he's not getting a lot of airplay, so to speak. But moving forward, you got to for him be a real sleeper pick again. He defended he defended the title 4 times since 2019, and he had really impressive wins over former world champions Jeff Horn, and in 2020, most recently, Jeff Horn in 2020, and most recently he fought Dennis Hogan, which was just literally last week, March 31st, 2021, where he had a great fight and he won that one as well. So he's
that was the fight where Hogan's corner threw in the towel.
That's correct. Yeah, that was the one. Hogan's an Irish fighter, really good fighter, and Tszyu made pretty short damage of him in I think 7th or 8th round, something like that. But that's really got things sort of moving for him. Now, right after that fight, and basically right this week, he was offered $1 million to fight an adversary, an Australian fighter named Michael Zarafa. He's another name that we might be hearing in the future. He's been around. He's a young fighter, but they've offered Tszyu $1 million to fight Zarafa. But these guys have been going back and forth for the last little while, and they don't seem to they can't seem to get it. You know, it's like the big fight of Australia. So he wants to go for the world titles is what he wants to do. So we'll see if that comes to happening. He wants to fight. One of the guys he really wants to fight is the WBO champion, Brian Castano. So Brian Castano is the WBO light middleweight champion. And as we know, Jamal Charlo has pretty much the rest of the belts in that division. So the promotional team down there is trying to get either one of those fights next. They're willing also to pay $10 million, Graham, to bring a world title fight for the first time to Australia, which is amazing if you think about it. You know, I guess they've never had a world title fight staged in Australia, but they're trying to get. I guess they're trying to entice Jamal Charlo to come down there and down under and put up the belts against Tszyu, and they're offering a lot of money. So I guess that's something to look forward to later this year. I'm sure there'll be some news on that. And I really think that he's going to make a huge splash this year either way. He's going to definitely be fighting. He's totally prepared. He's definitely prepared for anybody, any of the big guys. Like, there's a whole bunch of them that he could be fighting. Like Liam Smith, for instance, from the UK. He's talked a little bit about Danny Garcia, former world champion Danny Garcia. They've talked about him as a possible opponent. And then obviously Castrano or Jermell Charlo would be the ones that they really want to. They'd really love to have a fight with either one of those guys. So if they can pull it off, could be the first world championship title boxing match in Australia, I guess. So let's keep our eyes peeled for that. Let's hope that it happens, and keep your eyes out for him. Like I said, Tim Tszyu is moving up the ladder. He's ranked by everybody, different positions, but number 1, number 3, some the 8th, 9th. So he's gonna be in there for sure, no doubt about it. I'm looking forward to him fighting later on this year. So I'm sure he'll be getting a big fight no matter what. He's probably at that. I mean, he's a good fighter. I'm going to just say that he probably needs a couple of prep fights before he fights a guy like Jermell Charlo, right? They probably might not want to go that route right away, but I think he could. Even Castrano's going to be a hard fight for him, but he wants to move up, and he's willing to fight anybody. So hey, bring the thunder from down under, as we say down there, Graham. The thunder from down under. There's more of them coming.
That's
so
right.
Yeah, so let's keep our eyes on him, guys. Keep your eyes on Tim Tszyu. He's a fantastic fighter. He's an up and comer, and I believe that he's got a good chance at being a future world champion somewhere down the road, and hopefully he gets it this year. All right, so thanks a lot for coming out, checking out the show tonight. We're talking about the Aussie fighters, the Thunders from the Down Unders, and we got another one tomorrow from Australia. I believe we're going to be talking about one more guy from Australia, and hopefully you'll be able to tune in and check us out tomorrow. So thanks a lot for coming. Thanks for the likes, the shares, the comments. Everything's been great. I really appreciate it, and have yourselves a great evening. Talk to you then.
Thanks very much, Neil. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night. Don't forget, hey, there's female fighters down under as well. So don't forget to take, when you're searching around, have a look for those girls can knuckle up as well down there.
Oh yeah, I got a few on the radar. I'm just waiting to bring them out of I got them up my sleeve. So yeah, there's some big female fights coming down in the next little bit. So we'll be talking about some female fighters soon. Definitely, absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it.
Yeah, okay, cool. See you tomorrow night. Neil.
All right, see you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care.